Welcome to Calves Studios. I'm Chris. Foam roll for leg day. Whether you just did a hard workout for legs or take part in an activity that requires a lot of leg work, this class is for you. Utilizing the foam roller and one tennis ball, we will work our way from the front and back of the lower legs to the front and back of the upper legs, wrapping up with the glutes. An upper back and neck stretch will be included to balance out and soften the tissue that was indirectly worked while rolling that lower body. Thank you to those that join me in watching these videos to help enhance your mobility. The strip of kinesiology tape I have on my shoulder is to help with some neck and shoulder issues I've recently encountered. Taking care and listening to the body is the key to longevity. So grab your roller and your tennis ball, and let's get started. Let's begin with our calves, right down on the floor. So you're going to extend both legs out onto the calf. And then we're also going to lay on our backs today so we can get nice and comfy because, you know, today is all mostly about the legs. We'll get a little bit of upper body just to tie it all in because when our legs get looser, we can open up our upper body. So we're going to start with our right leg. So using your left foot on the roller, I want you to adjust the roller so it is between the ankle and the bottom of the middle of the part of the calf. So when you bend and straighten, you're down around the Achilles tendon, the lower part of that back of that calf. Then you can cross your left foot over your right. If it's too much pressure, you do not have to cross the leg. And then I want you to just bend and straighten that leg. So if you're bending the knee and it's going all the way into your heel, just maybe move that roller up just a little bit or shorten how much you bend that knee. Just bend and straighten. So you're pushing pressure into the roller from the leg, and you're relaxing your shoulders and your upper back. Then you're going to tilt and roll your leg to the right and onto your right hip, so your left glute comes off the floor, and then bend and straighten. And massage out the bottom of that calf. Then you're going to, and if it rolls, or you can always use that left foot to adjust again, then roll the whole body to the left glute, so the right one comes up, and now you're on the inside edge of that right calf. Now you're going to pause here, slightly bend that knee, rotate your right ankle as you add a little pressure into the inside part of that right calf. Then rotate back to the center of your hip so your right toe is up to the sky, knee is still bent, rotate that ankle. And then all the way tilt the body and the knee to the right and rotate that ankle again, that right ankle. So what we're doing is just moving back and forth across that bottom half of the calf muscle. And you can even rock and roll your knees and hips side to side so you roll across. Then we're going to straighten out the knee. Use your left foot to bring that roller a little higher. So now we're coming up so you're right below the meaty part of the calf. So just a little bit higher. So you bend and straighten. So when your leg is straight, it's below the meaty part of the calf. Relax your right foot as much as you can. Make adjustments. Then you're going to tilt your knees and your hips. Roll to the right hip. The left glute comes off the floor. Bend and straighten. Put pressure on the outside edge of that right calf. Getting into that soleus. And then rotate both hips to the left. The knee is bent. And then bend and straighten. Massaging out the inside of that right calf. Then you're going to pause here, knee bent, and rotate the ankle. Then start to shift your body back to center onto the hips, and then shift the body all the way to the right. So you're rotating across those hips. The chest and the upper back just stay relaxed back onto the floor. Chest is open. Then you're going to come back through the center, straighten the right leg again. Now last one, you're going to bring that roller higher up. So it's right in the meaty part of the calf. So when you bend the knee, the roller does not hit behind the knee, but it gets really close to behind the knee. It's right below it. So bend and straighten. Walk those shoulders away from the ears if you feel like you're getting tense up above. So as we use that foam roller to massage out any tension in the leg, it's leg day. Or maybe you just had leg day yesterday and you got some tension going on there. Then you're going to rotate, relax your foot, then rotate the hips and the right leg to the right. Left hip comes up, bend and straighten so you're on the outer back edge of that calf. And then rotate those hips to the left so you're on the left hip, right butt cheek comes up, and bend and straighten. So just again, massaging out different areas of the back of that gastrocnemius, the calf muscle. Then we're going to come bend the knee and then rotate the ankle, and we're going to come through the center, massaging, rotating the ankle, rotate all the way to that right hip. Don't forget to smile. And continue rotating the ankle the opposite way, and then come back through the center. Now you're going to uncross your left leg, let it rest on the roller, maybe move that roller back down towards your ankles, and then you're going to bring that right knee into the chest, hold the back of the thigh, and then start to extend that right leg up to the sky. Now when it's up there, I want you to just rotate your right ankle, circle it around, and then change direction, and then point and flex. So we're really going to loosen up the tissue of the lower leg, and then work our way to the upper part of the leg and the glutes, and then touch on the upper back. Then you're going to release that right leg back down to the roller. Adjust the roller, again, right above the ankle, left ankle, cross the right ankle over the left, and we're going to bend and straighten. So we just switched legs. So massage, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Now this time as we rotate, we're going to rotate the whole body to the left. So your left knee is rotating to the left rotating onto the left hip, right butt cheek comes up, bend and straighten. So now you're on the outside back edge of that calf or soleus. And then keep bending and straightening as you rotate the hips to the right. The left butt cheek comes up, you're on that right glute. The knees are bent towards the right. So we just keep going back and forth. Now we're going to pause here with a slight knee bend and rotate the ankle. So we're loosening up, we're softening up that tissue, the fascia tissue. And then you're going to keep rotating the ankle as you rotate to the center of your hips, and then rotate everything to the left, including the ankle, the knee. Circle it around. And then come back through the center, and then you're going to straighten out the leg. Use your right foot to adjust that roller right below the meaty part of the calf. When the knee is straight, cross your right ankle over top of the left, and then bend and straighten. So you move just a little bit up the calf, the back of the leg, lower leg there. Bend and straighten. And then you're going to shift your whole body, the lower part and the hips to the left. Right glute comes up, bend and straighten. And you might notice a difference from this one to the other. One might be more tense. Maybe they're the same. And then continue rotating through the center to the right. So you get the inside edge of that left leg, lower leg, that calf. And then from here, you're going to rotate the ankle, the left ankle, and the knee is slightly bent as you rotate through the center of the hips, shifting the hips and the knee to the left. And then come back to center, straighten out that left leg, use the right foot to bring that roller to the middle of the calf. So if your leg is straight, it would not quite hit the back of your knee. It's right below it. And then you can bend and straighten on that meaty part of the calf. And make adjustments with the roller if you need to. Continue to bend and straighten. Softening the ankle and relaxing that calf as much as you can. I know it's way easier said than done. and then rotate the whole hip to your left. Continue to bend and straighten. So your right glute is up, you're leaning on that left butt cheek. And bending and straightening, and then continue through the center to the left. If the roller kind of creeps up or down, just adjust it with that foot that's on top. And then we're going to bend the knee slightly, start to rotate the ankle, and then pass through the center, back of that calf, rotating through the hips and the knee to the left, rotating the ankle. And that helps get the tension or that crystallized tissue, that's those trigger points out when we rotate the ankle. And then coming back to center. Go ahead and straighten out the legs, bring the roller back towards your ankles. And then we're going to lift the left knee into the chest. We already did the right, now we're on the left. Hold the back of the thigh, and then start to straighten out your left leg to the sky, and then rotate your ankles. And just feel that stretch through the gastroc and the soleus, basically the lower back of the leg. Change direction with that leg, that ankle circle. And then we're going to point and flex. From here, we're going to hug the knees into the chest, and you're going to roll to the side, or you can just roll yourself up. So bringing that roller right behind the thighs, and we're going to just do a very brief hamstring roll. So using your hands behind you, we're going to go back to that right leg again. Place your left foot flat on the floor, knee bent. So the leg, foot, and the hands are going to help us. We're going to lift ourselves up off the floor, and you're just going to roll yourself forward and back along that hamstring. Now then you're going to go to the top of the hamstring, close to the glutes, and I want you to rock and roll your body side to side. Now if it's hard for you to reach the floor with your arms, if they're shorter, you can put yourself on a couple yoga blocks. That is helpful. Then you're going to continue to rock and roll side to side as you move your body backwards, and the roller moves down your thigh towards the back of that knee. If you need to sit down and move your hands back, you can. Another option is to lean slightly into your left, drop your left knee open, and then just guide that roller up and down the back side, the inner back side of that hamstring, the back of that leg, all the way. If your wrists get tired, feel free to go to your knuckles. That's another option. Or again, having your hands on the blocks. Now we're going to rotate the hips all the way to the right, dropping the knee to the right, and roll up and down the outside edge of the back of that hamstring. So just massaging it out. This is a challenging area to get sometimes on the roller. One more roll. And then you're going to lower your hips to the floor, and we're going to switch legs. So place your right foot flat on the floor. Use your hands to lift yourself up. Push through your foot. Use your foot to guide you all along the back of that hamstring. Sliding along, massaging it out. Again, putting as much pressure as you can comfortably handle on that roller. Pushing into that leg. You go towards the top, and you can also rock side to side, rolling those hips as you roll up and down that thigh, roll towards the knee, and then back up towards that glute. Now when you get up to the top, we're going to drop both the right knee and the left hip to the left and roll along the outside edge of the back of that leg. All the way. This is a great way to also work your upper body and improve that upper body strength. So again, this is about leg day. So let's start working those arms a little and prep for arm day. Get them stronger. Then you're going to rotate, go back to the top of that glute, or sorry, the thigh, not the glute. We're almost at the glute. Drop both the right knee open and drop the hips towards the right. So you're going on the inside back edge of that hamstring. And roll again. So maybe your arms are getting a little fatigued now from holding yourself up. Just think about the strength you're gaining by using those arms. Take breaks if you need it. Up and down. One more time. And then come back through the center just to sweeten it up. And then go ahead and rest your hips on the floor. Massage out your wrists. And then we're going to bring that roller back towards the ankles. And then we're going to take that left leg and we're going to slide it underneath the right thigh. So you're just having that back of that calf again comfortable on that roller. Sit up nice and tall, and let's just start to hinge our hips forward. So feel the belly button pulling towards the foot, and then flex your foot. So you can really stretch out the calf and the hamstring. If you can't reach your toes, try to bend the knee and then maybe hold the toe and then straighten. So you can try to work towards that flexibility. And then just hold and breathe. You can even rock that foot just gently side to side. Massaging it out. Try not to lock your right knee. You want to just make sure it's soft. We call it a micro bend. So we keep that blood flow moving through that knee joint. And then we're going to release. Sit up nice and tall, and let's switch legs. Go ahead and bring that left leg up. Slide the right foot underneath the left thigh. Sit up nice and tall first and notice, what's going on. Maybe it's hamstrings, maybe it's calf. And then start to lean into it. And again, you can always straighten and bend the knee, working towards that mobility, flexibility, lengthening that tissue. Maybe rock that leg side to side as you melt forward. We're going to be doing one more stretch, and then we're going to move into the shins, the front of the leg, the lower leg, but we're going to use a tennis ball. So go ahead and remove your foot off the roller. Bring your roller to the side, place it to the side. Let's do one more stretch. So lengthen through the legs, sit up nice and tall. Take your arms and reach them up to the sky, and then exhale, forward fold. Reach for those toes. And if you can't reach your toes, hold the back of the knees or the shins, wherever feels comfortable. Again, not collapsing through the spine or rounding. We want to lengthen and feel that belly button pulling forward. So you're rotating all the way down through those hips there and not through the back. Take another breath in. And then slowly exhale the breath out. Sometimes we're in such a rush to get things stretched out and moving, but the body wants to relax and it will go deeper into its stretch. So we're going to get hold of our tennis ball now, and we will start with the right shin with that tennis ball. So options, bringing your right knee bent in front of you. Your left leg can be out to the side, or preferably, if it's comfortable for your knees, just bring it behind you so the knee is bent. Again, if that doesn't feel comfortable to the knee, bring it out to the side. Taking that tennis ball, we're going to lift the right knee and you're going to place it, find that bone right on the base of your knee. You want to put the tennis ball right below it, but that the tennis ball is sticking out of the front. You don't want to put it way back in here under the front of the shin there. So we did the calf, so now we're going to move into the lateral head right there of the bottom of the lower leg. So you're going to add a little pressure, and then you're just going to start to draw that leg side to side, like forward and back. So the tennis ball goes a little closer to the knee and then a little closer to the ankle. So it's just moving back and forth. Now if it's hard to lift your foot off the floor, you can keep it on the floor and just point and flex the foot, and it will move that leg along that tennis ball. Now if you have a little more mobility, you can also lift the foot, hold it at the ankle, and continue to draw that leg side to side as you press gently into the knee to get into that tissue right there. So we're not hitting the bone, we're staying on the outside edge of it. So notice the difference if you go in deeper with that tennis ball. You can also go back and forth, bending and straightening just a little couple inches on that knee, but trying to stay towards the front outer edge of that shin. And just continue to move. If you need to, then move your tennis ball down, lower towards the middle of that shin, and draw that leg side to side. And maybe you don't feel anything. Maybe your shins are good. Maybe you're really surprised. And then bring it down. The tennis ball might shoot out. And then bringing it down closer to the ankle. Now, if you find a trigger point anywhere along there, try to point and flex the foot through the ankle and maybe even draw circles. So maybe you bring it back up, point and flex. You can even point and flex the foot as you draw that whole leg along that tennis ball, or the tennis ball along the leg. Maybe try flexing the foot. So there's so many options. Just play around with it. Flex the foot as you draw that tennis ball up and down. Then point the foot or relax it and draw that tennis ball. It's going to feel different both ways when you do that. So when you're done with that one, we're going to just move up a little bit higher, getting into the outside edge, close to right above the knee. We're on the same leg, same right leg. The right foot's on the floor. We're just drawing a tiny little back and forth, pressing like a gas pedal with your right foot on the floor. So it moves that leg. Then you're going to move that tennis ball up a little higher. Same thing. So you're gliding that tennis ball across the outside edge. Move it up a little higher. So this one I want you very gentle. It's an IT band. Getting to the lateral head. Move it up a little more. Just a very gentle up, down, a little higher. Don't need to spend a ton of time here on this lateral head because there's a lot of stuff going on here, and most of the tightness is going to come from way up above here at the hip, and we'll get there. Keep going all the way up. Just a gentle side to side. And just get up as high as you can without going into the glute. Just bringing that knee a little bit higher and pressing. Then we're going to release. Now we're going to the other side. So we're going to go to the left shin. So you can straighten out your right leg, or you can bring it behind you. Now here again, you're going to find the bone of that left knee, not foot, that's down here. Knee up here. Bring the tennis ball right below the bone. And then just add a little pressure and point and flex that left foot on the floor. Remember, the tennis ball is sticking out, so you want to be able to see that tennis ball. Point and flex, and then just moving it down. And some of you might be able to get your foot off the floor and glide it. Either way is fine. Work with what works with your body. Maybe you're leaning on your left arm, and maybe you're using both arms for the leg. Again, both options. You'll be all prepared for leg day, or you'll be recovered better from leg day after all of this. And then bringing that tennis ball a little bit lower. And again, point and flex. So some of the things that we did on the other leg was we flex the foot and then draw that tennis ball along the length. Make sure you have room to move, or point the foot or relax it and draw that tennis ball all the way. If you find a trigger point or a tender spot on that shin, point and flex the foot, maybe even draw circles as you guide the leg along that tennis ball. And you can also go inside. We talked about bending and straightening the knee just a little bit, massaging along. You want to get that whole area. If you've been out hiking or running, playing pickleball, tennis, maybe you've been lifting, doing some, like I said, leg day, and that can be anything. That can be some, shoveling or walking through snow, depending on what your weather's like where you live. And then we're going to release that tennis ball when we're done, and we're going higher up on the leg. So here we're going to bring it above the knee to the outside part of the upper leg and getting into that IT band. And again, toe is on the floor, point and flex like you're pushing a gas pedal with your left foot, so that tennis ball just gently glides back and forth. Then on the outside of the leg, then bring that tennis ball higher. back and forth, a little bit higher. And you might find some tender spots more on one leg than the other. That just means you're normal. A little bit higher. And continue breathing. Try not to put too much pressure on the shoulder or the hand. A little bit higher. Loosening up the legs, the tissue, the connective tissue that goes to the knees, the ankles, the hips, that helps our mobility. So very important, keeps our mobility up in our joints of our body. A little bit higher, so you work your way all the way up to the outside edge of that upper leg, almost to the glutes where you can't really get that tennis ball any higher unless you lift up. And we're gonna get to the glutes very soon. Gonna do a couple stretches. So we're gonna release that tennis ball. Go ahead and set it to the side for right now. So we're going to use that foam roller again. So we're gonna finish up with a final quick roll of the shins and then a stretch and then get into the IT band to stretch it. So to foam roll the shins a little deeper, we're gonna take the right shin. You're gonna turn the right hip, drop it to the right side towards your roller, left foot on the floor, and you can roll the length. So make sure you're not hitting the bone. So if your toe is facing the floor, you're gonna be hitting the bone of the shin. So drop, turn that toe to the left. Now option is you can stack the legs and roll the whole shin, and you can rotate the ankle. Now if this is too much on your hands, you can always drop to your elbows, listen to your body, and just do between 4 and 6 rolls along that shin, rotating the ankle. This is a great preventative for shin splints as well. So if you're feeling a lot of tenderness there, you might have a little bit of shin splints, tightness going on. Then we're going to release, and we're going to drop it to the left. Left shin, so drop your hip to the left, turn your knee to the right, and you can keep your right foot on the floor and roll. This is also great, again, while we're working our legs to release from leg day, we are building strength in the arms and the upper body and core. So then lengthen, and you can stack the legs. You do not have to. I'm just showing options. Rotating the ankle of the left foot as you roll along that left shin. Making sure you're not hitting the bone. Again, this can be a little tender if you got anything going on. Now when you're done with your 4 to 6 rolls, you're gonna bring your knees to the floor in front of the roller, and then bring your very top of your toes to the roller. Separate your feet and knees, and then you're just gonna slide your hips back towards the roller. So you're stretching out not only the shins, but the ankles, which it all connects down to the toes, that area. So if this is too much on your knees, you can throw a blanket or towel or something under your knees. You don't have to sit this far back. Again, you can just maybe go part way. And it feels so good. Stretching it all out. Then you're going to release. Go ahead and bring your ankles on top of the roller so your toes are hanging off the edge. And then you're going to roll backwards so your knees come up and your toes go on the floor. And just hold on to the roller, let it roll forward, and shift your body side to side. And then you're going to bring your knees back to the floor, rollers in front of you. Come to tabletop. You can draw your elbows or your forearms to the roller. Knees under hips. Extend your right leg straight to the back. And then you're going to bring that right foot across to the left side of your mat. And then tilt your right hip to the right, and then turn your head and look over your left shoulder. Try to straighten out that right leg. Now your toes are tucked, so your ball of the foot is on the floor. Now you're going to switch it and tuck your toes so the top of your foot is on the floor. And drop your hips a little lower. So we're getting a little deeper into the IT band. It stretches up from the knee to the hip. And then coming all the way back to neutral. And now we're going to extend the left leg straight to the back of the mat. Bring the foot to the right side of the mat. Toe is ball of the foot and the toes are on the floor. Drop your hips slightly to the left and look over your right shoulder. Try to straighten out that left leg. And we're breathing. Now we're gonna tuck the toe so the top of the toes are on the floor. And again, drop the hip a little lower. And take a breath. And then we're going to release. Separate the knees, feet together. Slide into a child's pose. Arms on the roller. Let's take a little pause here. Lower the belly between the thighs. Press the forehead to the mat. And breathe. Feel the lengthening of the low back, the stretching. A little bit of those IT bands, the shins. From here, we're going to come back up from child's pose, and we're going to continue up the back, and we're going to go into the glutes. So we're going to place our right butt cheek on the roller. And both your feet are flat, knees bent, right hand on the floor. If it's, again, too much on the wrist, you can go to the knuckles or to your elbow. But we're gonna roll that whole glute top to bottom. And I know it's leg day, but the glutes, all the connective tissue with the legs attach up into the glute. They affect the hips, so very important. You should be hitting those glutes on leg day. It's all part of it. And breathe. Even what you do with your calf and shin can affect your shoulders. So very important to get everything attached. One more roll, and then we're going to take our right ankle over the left thigh, bend and open up the knee, and roll some more. All the way to the sits bones, to the top of that right butt cheek, rolling that right glute. Forward and back, from the top to the bottom of your mat. Then we're going to find the middle of the glute, and I want you to rock side to side. You might get a hip pop. I don't know if you could hear that. Just continue to rock side to side. One more. And then we're going to release that foot. We're going to slide off the roller just for a moment. I want you to sit in front of the roller, straighten out your left foot and leg and flex the foot. Bring your right leg across the left thigh, and we're going to hug the right knee in with the left arm. Bring your right arm behind you as a kickstand and just really get a nice twist and stretch here. So not only are we stretching hamstring and calf in the left, we're stretching the glute and hip in the right. And take a nice breath and lift up through the base of the torso. See if you can twist a little deeper, and then look over that right shoulder. Might feel it up into that low back a little bit. Again, all connected, the kinetic chain. So much that science is learning about the fascia tissue as well. Go ahead and release that right leg, and we're going to switch to the left glute. So as we roll out the fascia tissue of the body, think about it affecting everything, the nervous system, empathetic system, just every single system in the body. So before we cross that leg, let's feet flat, let's roll that left glute. I was getting ahead of myself there. That's the best part, when you can cross that leg and get really deep into that glute and that piriformis. So all the way from the sits bones to the top of that glute. So you might have some tender spots, or I call them trigger points or speed bumps in those glutes. So just remember to pause on them. If you find a spot, move the knee. If it's too tender, move past it. We never want to have pain when we're rolling. So take that left ankle now, open up the left knee, cross the left ankle over the right thigh, and let's roll from the top to the bottom of the glute. So hopefully you're going to have more mobility now after all of this rolling for the knees, the ankles, the hips, even the shoulders and the neck, because we're loosening things up in that back as well. The back and the hips, they connect top and bottom. So we're getting everything loosened up. Then we're going to find the middle of that glute, and you're going to rock your body side to side. Find any of those points, those spots, trigger points. Again, if you find one, you can move that knee open and closed. Then we're going to release the left foot, And we're gonna sit forward onto the mat, the roller behind us. Go ahead and straighten out your right leg and bring your left foot across. Place that foot on the floor. We're gonna wrap our right arm nice and tight around that left knee. Flex your right foot so you're really stretching, pushing forward with the upper body into that left leg, towards the thigh. Left arm behind you, let's twist. Try to lengthen through the upper and the lower body. And breathe. Feel that nice stretch through the glute, through the low back, the QL, that whole hip area. Maybe up and even to that IT band. We have a great one coming. My favorite's next. That's the quads. The quads affect everything. The hips, the knees, the ankles, the upper back. They get short and tight from sitting. So we're going to release that left leg. And we're going to turn over onto our front side, going into a plank onto the elbows. So bring that roller right above the knees so that you don't ever want the roller to hit the kneecaps. They want to be right above it. That's where we're going to start. Now the goal here is bring your feet about as close together as you can get comfortably and the knees close. Elbows on the floor, bring your fingertips and spread them out. Press the palms in, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Now try to relax your legs as you move your body forward and back 1 inch. And notice if you're leaning more towards one leg than the other. That is a key thing here. We tend to lean into one side more than the other. So try to even out the weight and then walk your elbows back 1 inch. So then the roller moves up your thigh 1 inch. And again, moving forward and back, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Continue moving the elbows back another inch so that roller moves up the thigh 1 inch. Really getting into those quads. And just notice what's happening as we move up the thigh. Are the feet getting tense? Are you tensing up in the hip? Try to relax as much as possible. If you need a break because it's too intense, that's fine. If your roller's really a dense roller, maybe wrap it with a towel. Might have to put a rubber band on it so it doesn't come off. Or just place a towel over it to make it softer. Keep on going up the thigh with the roller till you can't go any more comfortably. And again, keeping the shoulders away from the ears and the neck long. Now from here, once you get to the top of the quads, we're going to walk the elbows as far forward as we comfortably can, and then glide the body slowly, very, very slowly along your mat so the roller goes back towards above your knees. Now once you get back to the knees, I want you to take your toes to the floor and then just bring your feet apart. So they're probably maybe about hip distance apart, so they're not quite as close together. And then you're going to rock your hips to the left, and then you're going to rock your hips to the right. So you're literally rolling back and forth across those thighs. And the same thing here. Notice the pressure you're putting on each leg. This can be a little intense. So you're going to rock back and forth, slow and controlled, probably between 4 and 6 times, whatever feels good to you. If 4 is plenty, then that's fine. Then walk your elbows back 1 inch. The roller moves up 1 inch, and again, rock the body to the left and then to the right. You might find that if you rock to the left knee bends, that's fine. And then the right knee bends a little. So let the knees bend, let the body adjust to what feels good. After you've done a few, walk your elbows back again, move up the thigh, and roll and twist. So basically, it's almost like a twist. Twist with the roll. So your left hip is rolling down towards the roller, then your right hip rolls down, just back and forth, then walk the elbows back. Again, getting as high onto those quads as you can. And this is where it gets a little tender, up towards the top of those quads, a little bit higher. Now once you're at the top of those quads and you can't go really any higher comfortably, we're going to bend both knees and bring the knees up, lengthen through the spine, really engage the core, and pull the shoulders away from the ears. and then crisscross the legs, and then open them wide, and then crisscross the opposite way. A couple more times, crisscross and open. Now bring both feet up, the knees are bent. Go ahead and straighten out the left leg. Place the left toe on the floor. Keep the right knee bent. Shift your body weight using that left foot all the way to your right upper thigh. You might feel that a bit. Straighten and bend that right knee. And breathe. See if you can roll a little more to the edge. You're still on the front edge of that right thigh. See if you can move a little higher onto that right thigh, up higher, just on the right. Getting into that hip flexor, bend and straighten. And into that TFL a little. Get into that TFL, the sides a little higher. If you start to hit the bony area, then back off a little. Go ahead and straighten out the right leg. Shift your body lower, back into the top of those thighs. Place your right toe on the floor, bend your left knee. Shift your body weight, turn your left hip slightly to the left. So your body weight goes to the top of the left thigh. Straighten and bend that left knee. So you might find some trigger points here in this area. It can get pretty tight. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Go up a little higher onto that left quad, getting into that left hip and hip flexor. Maybe you even feel tightness coming in through the belly. As long as you're not feeling anything in the low back, that's key. If you feel the low back, then back off a little bit. A little higher. And then go ahead and straighten out that left leg. We're going to slide off the back of the roller. Go ahead and bring the roller out in front of you. Separate your knees, feet together. Let's go into child's pose and really stretch out the quads in the back. Use your palms to press into the roller and press your hips back to the heels. So you loosen things up. Then you're going to come up out of your child's pose. Move the roller to the side for a moment, and we're going to slide onto the belly. And then go ahead and lower towards your belly and your chest. Place your left hand under your chin, and then you're going to reach your right hand back towards your right foot, and then bend your right knee. And you're going to hold on to the foot and bring the foot towards the glute, and bring your knees together. Now, variations, options. If you cannot reach your foot, you can use a strap or a belt. Another option is to bring your foot, lay on your left side, and that way you can grab your right foot, or you can even bring your right foot behind you, bent on the floor. So the goal is to stretch that front of that hip flexor and quad where we just rolled. So you choose which posture works for you. Try to take a deep breath in, squeeze that right butt cheek, and then slowly relax the glute, the butt cheek. And try that one more time. You tighten up the glute as you pull the foot in. You're going to feel that stretch. If it's painful in the knee, don't squeeze as tight, and then relax it. And then go ahead and let go of your right foot, and let's switch hands. So bring your right hand under your chin. Reach your left hand back towards the left foot. You're going to hold on to it. Bring the knees together. Now, if you can't reach your foot on this side, maybe you could on the other side, not this side. If that's the case, lie on your right side and then just hold. Maybe you can catch your knee that way. Try to bring your knee back so it's not in front of your hip, but it's in alignment or behind. Or you can release your foot onto the floor and really stretch that hip flexor. And then try squeezing your glute and then releasing it. The butt cheek, again, squeeze the left butt cheek and then release. You got one more. Squeeze and release. Go ahead and let go of that left leg. press yourself all the way up. If you need a child's pose or to stretch your back, feel free. We're going to bring that roller across the mat. We're going to come to our bottoms, and we're going to go just a quick roll to the upper back, and we're going to get a little bit into the head and the neck area, and then we're going to see how we can twist and still loosen up through the hips. So it's all connected, like I said. So, oops, I'm going the wrong place. So we're going to the upper back. Find the middle of your shoulder blades. So the roller is across the middle of your shoulder blades, both feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Let's bring the fingertips behind the ears, not interlacing because then we tend to crank on the neck. So you want to keep them wide, but really supporting the neck as you lengthen. Lifting the hips, and we're going to roll the roller to the top of the shoulder blades and then down towards the middle of the back, basically where the belly button would come through the middle or right below those shoulder blades. Be mindful of any tender spots or rib areas that are not comfortable with the roller going over it. Listen to your body. Breathe, feel the chest opening. Notice what's going on in the legs also, in your glutes as you roll. This is leg day. But it's all connected. When we loosened up the front of our quads, we loosened the hips, which can help us with our mobility in the upper back as well. One more, and then we're going to stop right in the middle of those shoulder blades again. Keeping the elbows wide, really think about your neck and your head, you're supporting it. Walk your feet all the way together and your knees. So your feet and knees are touching. Open the chest a little wider so you're looking up at the ceiling. But again, no pressure in the neck. Drop both knees to your right, but keep your left elbow open. So you're stretching all the way up through that left elbow, down through the torso. That left knee, gently feel it with your mind pushing toward your right knee. And breathe. Try to relax your neck if you're straining. And then slowly rotate back to your hips, lifting both knees. Now we're going to drop it to the other side. So center your hips, bring your feet and knees together, open the chest, drop your knees to the left. Notice the difference. Anyone have a tighter side? You might feel it more in the armpit or the chest area or shoulder. Maybe it's more in the hip or the back area. Hold on to that head. Relax those shoulders a little bit. Think about bringing that right knee a little bit closer to the left, pushing it down towards the floor, and then very slowly release back up to center. Now you're going to slide forward. So the roller now will go to the back of your head, to the skull. So your upper back, it's on the floor, your hips are on the floor, feet are on the floor, and the knees are bent. Hold on to the outside edges of your roller and bring the back of your head to the roller. But I want the roller a little bit higher so there's no vertebrae touching the roller of the back. So if you were to rock your head side to side, it would not be hitting any vertebrae in the back of your neck. It's completely on the skull. Then drop your chin just enough that you can get a stretch through the back of the neck. And breathe. From here, gently turn your head to the right so the roller goes towards the right ear. And you're going to feel the back of the skull there, the occipital bone, and just do a nod yes and a nod no, maybe circles. And then from here, keeping your head here, drop your elbows towards the floor. The elbows are bent, you're holding the outside edge. Feel that stretch. And maybe you don't feel anything. Maybe you're not tight in the chest or the neck. And then slowly bring your head back to neutral. And then let your head draw to the left. So now your left ear is touching the roller, just the back of it. And nod yes and no. Maybe draw circles. Maybe close your eyes. Now if your elbows came up, find that gentle relaxing place for your head and let your elbows come to the floor. Feel that stretch through the neck. You might notice a difference. Again, one side tighter than the other. Then we're coming back to center. Tilt your chin. Slowly bring your head to the right again. So again, find the back of the ear. Maybe bring the roller a little bit higher so you're almost to the back of the top of the ear, but not quite, the very top outer edge. Then take both knees and drop them to your left. Just gently, keeping both shoulders and the elbows on the floor. If it's too intense of a stretch, don't drop your knees so far. That's okay. And just breathe. Slowly bring both knees up to center. Rotate your head back to center. Toes and knees touching. Center everything. So you're back in alignment, pushing your low back into the floor. Elbows relaxed to the floor. Roller is up on the higher part of the back, on the back of the head, not on the neck. And then tilt your head to the left, but bring the roller a little higher behind the ear. Relax your shoulders on the floor. Drop both knees to your right. Now one side might be a little more intense if you have something going on in your head or your neck. And breathe. And never forcing anything. We all have stuff that happens once in a while. Hence again, the tape on my neck. It's called rock tape. It's for some little bit of neck and shoulder issues I've had going on lately. Just taking care of the body. Very slowly bringing the head back to neutral, and then let the knees come back to neutral and the hips. Feel your head gently on the roller, supported completely. Take a deep breath in. Go ahead and release the roller behind you. Let your head go all the way to the floor. Walk your shoulders away from the ears, and then turn your palms up. Go ahead and straighten out your legs for a moment. And just notice how that feels everywhere. How are your legs? Take a deep breath in, close your eyes, and then exhale out. And you're going to walk your feet in towards your hips. Reach your fingertips towards your heels. Press your feet into the floor. And then lift your hips to a bridge, really lengthening. And just notice how it feels in the quads, the glutes, not overarching the low back. And then slowly lower back down. Then from here, we're going to hug the knees into the chest, pull the nose to the knees. Now you're welcome to roll up, or you can just roll to your side and set yourself up. We're going to come to a nice tall seated posture. Cross the legs, whichever way feels good to you. Roll those shoulders down. Now bring, your legs are crossed. Doesn't matter which one's in front. Pull the shoulders down and back. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Drop your right ear to the right shoulder. Then walk your left hand out to the side on the mat or the floor. Close your eyes. Slowly take your chin, drop it down to the right side of your chest. And take a breath in. And then release your head to neutral and then your hand. I know it's leg day, but you still we tense up in the shoulders when we're getting tense and using our core and our legs. Now drop the left ear to the left shoulder, and we never stretch our neck enough anyways. Walk the right arm out to the side. Close your eyes if you need to. Turn your chin now to the left side of your chest, down. Take a breath in. Slowly bring your head back to neutral. Bring your hand back to the thigh. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, and then just give me some butterfly. Flap those knees up and down. Lift through the spine. Tuck your chin in. So the only area we didn't do is inner thigh, but that's okay. That's a whole nother video. You can do that at switch videos on that one if you need to. And then we're going to release and we're going to straighten out the legs. Because most of the time it's quads and calves, hamstrings that really get it on leg day. Pull those glutes out. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Stay tall through the spine and check out your forward fold. And relax. Is it easier? A little less pressure on the upper back and the shoulders. Notice your mobility in your hips a little more. Melt a little deeper into it, but keep the back, upper back straight, lengthen through the spine. So it's just through those hips you're rotating forward. One more breath. And then inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, the arms out to the side. Go ahead and cross your legs. Come to an easy seat. Sit nice and tall. Let's try our posture. Chin in alignment. Pull in. Ears over shoulders. Shoulders over hips. Palms are down on the thighs. And then pull your elbows back towards your rib cage. And just feel how that feels in the hips and the glutes. Take a deep breath in. Reach those palms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.